My name is Nomi Malca. I'm from Amdocs, from the Learning and Talent Development. We will talk about learning incorporates, which is not very common in this summit, but we'll just keep on the track of people free choice, because I think this is a continuum from the Scouts and the learning system, and continues in the corporate. I don't know if you heard Yariv this morning from Amdocs. He's a leader in our organization, and he actually give people in his division the choice to learn and to upskill themselves, because as we heard in many sessions in this summit, technology and everything actually changes all the time. In our technology especially, we heard yesterday, I think, data that the technology changes every 24 to 48 months as maximum. All the knowledge that people has must be replaced. So you understand that a vast time and efforts must be invested in learning and changing the main asset that people have, their knowledge. So let's think how to do that. And we'll do it together. We will split two tables that will discuss how to do it in different organizations. We will split to four, I think. Let's start with 4 tables. The first table will be for the first organization. The organization that sits here around this table will be for people who interest in organizations where the population changes anyway. You don't have control. You take into consideration that the people changes anyway, and you invest in them when they get into the organization, and then they learn the vast knowledge they learn when they enter, and then they learn on the job. So this type of organization will be located here. Shlomit from Amdocs will help you to discuss this type of organization. The next organization, though I do need the page. The next organization is organization where the managers decide what should be learned, and they give the focus. They don't have time to invest later on, so they decide what people should learn, and later on they learn per need on the job. This is organization number 2. It will be located there on the far table, and Dror, you will lead them. The third organization will be an organization where the employees needs to invest a lot of time, but they can choose where, when, and in what domain. Meaning the organization provides the infrastructure and support, but the people have the totally free choice to choose if, when, and what to learn. This table will be located there. And Edith, you will sit with them. Thank you. And our fourth organization, here you have it. This is better. The fourth organization will be organization that has needs, technology, and role-based. We define this kind of organization defines preliminary what is required, and if there's a match between the employee and the organization, they are welcome to learn that. Meaning you have some free choice, but as long as it fits the organization need. Okay? This table will be located here, and Tali, you will be with them. We have structured the discussion for a few minutes, and then we'll share our thoughts.
Please. So, do you have a group? Do you hear? Can we hear anyone who's only English speaking? Or all of us are Hebrew speaking? Our organization was one where the talent changes all the time, and the organization defines what should be learned. So, we all have the same questions? Yeah. Oh, okay. So the first question, Thank you. How much impact will the learning have on attraction and retention? So we said it depends what kind of knowledge. We said if the knowledge is transferable, it'll be more desirable. But if the if the knowledge is just what they need to be able to work in that organization, it will have no effect on attracting or retention. So transferable knowledge meaning knowledge that can serve me in my future job, it can help my CV, then it will attract people. But if it's not that kind of knowledge, if it's purely how to do your job just like a machine for the company, then it will not attract people. And then we talked about change in technology. How will that affect the organization? And we said, some of us said that there will be a lot of resistance. And some of us, I actually thought that since there's a high turnover, people, it won't matter. You come in, you learn a new technology, you leave. You didn't know anything else, so there's nothing to unlearn. On the other hand, maybe the managers in the organization, the ones who have to teach the knowledge, will have a lot of resistance to a change. And then lastly, yeah, so I think our group had a hard time saying that that we shouldn't care. I think our facilitator was trying to get us to say that probably most companies wouldn't care about their employees' future jobs with such a short-term employment term. But I think we have a lot of ethical people in our group with a social justice cause.
Great, thank you. Next group, who wants to share?
Hi.
Should I start with the questions? The questions are the same for all. So please short explanation about your organization you and the results.
Our organization defines what should be learned and focuses on the entering point. There is no time to invest in gaining new knowledge, and they learn per job. About what impact can learning in our organization have on the attraction of new talent. I think we agreed that that would be an obstacle. So about that, I think we agree. About facing the next change in the technology and methodology. We discussed where will it come from, the change, whether it will come from the workers themselves or from the managers.
Life, change is all over. It's the most stable thing that we see. So change is here, whether we like it or not, whether it comes from the managers, from the industry, from the employees, it is here. You cannot ignore it.
So it can, okay. It's there. I personally think that for a company, rather than your think that would be a bit hard to adapt to changes in a country that doesn't focus learning.
Okay, the change is here, but who defines what will be the change and how we will implement the change in the life of the organization? It has to be excellent, it has to be based on both consideration of management and
I think what we see is that as much as the organization is less ready for learning and for changes, it is more hard for it to implement the change. And as much as the industry requires a change, not being ready or not taking that into consideration might be challenging. As for the future jobs of your employees or managers,
You to say. I think we agree that it's a complicated situation to balance between companies and it is in terms of future employment. Because from one side, we want them to stay in the company.
they don't hear you.
Sorry. Because from one side, you want them to stay in the company and contribute, and from the other side, you also want them to gain skills that they will use for life.
So you don't see it as the...
you said it nicely.
I just got here that say in the morning that we want to invest them for the next role. Might won't be in our organization, but treat them in the way that they would like to stay with us.
Which is typically not this kind of organization. Right. I will give it to group number 4 now. Yeah, you.
Cheat sheets.
Who wants to tell us what happened here? Thank you. Delete.
So our organization has some limitations, has its own strategy, and the employee can choose his training in this framework. And we discussed it, and finally we came to the conclusion that in all topics it's a negative impact because it's downsized for the employee. It won't grow. It won't have investment in the company because I do as I told and I don't bring something for myself. And it's a downside for the company as well because if you lead one way and you don't let people look right or left, then you go in this direction and you might miss a lot of things in advance. And people will leave because they feel they don't get the skills to involve for even a job in different companies.
So if you give them the taste of learning, you give them the will to learn, but you don't give them the choice, then it works against you. Because they do get the sense of curiosity, they do get the sense of what could happen if I learn, but they don't have the freedom to choose what to learn. So they're kind of frustrated. That's your summary. That's your summary. Cool. Thank you. And the 4th group.
Okay, so I think I'll start with the I'm from Amdocs. And the third group was dealing with a company that is very Amdocs-like company in the way that we enable our employees a lot of freedom to choose and to learn. We also direct where the future goes, and since the beginning of the discussion, I think there was a lot of curiosity from them to hear more how we do that and how we create this kind of environment. And if we go to the questions, so I think that it was clear that both the retention and the attraction, it's very positive with that kind of
approach and attitude, because it's up-to-date approach, and especially with the young generation, and they look for their freedom and their development. And as it's written here, it's a win-win situation also with the challenges of the organization, because if they put the direction and being so enabled to the employee, and they can just choose, so it will support also their future needs. We haven't had time to discuss the third question about the next job, but I feel that the organization does care.
Will be relevant, so it's a big win-win for them, for the organization, and they can go through career paths to many different jobs.
So to conclude, I think it's a spectrum. Of course, you cannot be always on one direction, and not in all jobs, in all situations. You can give employees all the freedom and all the options. But we in Amdocs for sure aim for that, because we believe in that, and we're starting to see the results. We're starting to measure that and to see the impact. I cannot prove it by numbers yet, but I hope that by maybe next year summit we will be able to show some numbers. We were asked to shorten the session, so I have like 5 minutes or so. If you have any questions, instead of me just telling you about how it works, if there's a specific aspect of it you want to hear about. So this scientific, yeah, please.
How do you produce content?
It depends which type of content. First of all, we are trying to aim big groups of employees that are interested in the same content. That we have a lot of people that might use this content because we don't force them, then we are dependent on their choice. So we are aiming for the large groups, and we differentiate between content that we can curate from outside, from the web or from the big platforms like Coursera, Udacity, edX, and so on. And we try to use as much as possible content from outside. Secondly, we develop content with our internal experts. People inside Amdocs produce their own content. And third, we develop skills courses and learning solutions for skills within the organization as well. So all kinds of learning solutions.
Do you teach creativity?
We have lots of learning solutions around innovation. In fact, we work closely together with the innovation unit in Amdocs. Shachaf Snir will have a different session later here today about different topic, but he's partner. We are partnering with the innovation unit. We have a group of innovation agents that we train together to be trainers of innovation in Amdocs.
By the way, Nomi, it was mentioned that we also introduce people to innovation courses, external platform, make them in that design.
We created a MOOC, internal MOOC that use external MOOCs about innovation in order to combine that. We call it Univation, University Innovation together.
What do you think the biggest challenge today for corporate
Time. Time of the learners. Since it's an ongoing learning, they need to learn all the time new stuff. As soon as they finish something, they need to learn the next thing. So they can never stop learning. So I cannot ask their managers to give them time to learn, because that's not realistic. They have to work, they have to learn all the time. So to ask them to give time to learning, it's really to ask them to give their free time, their spare time, their time at home or time with their families to learning. And that's a challenge, but there's no other choice. Retraining?
Retraining, if a person wants to go from quality to
We are calling it upskilling, and that's what we're doing all the time. If you started in one technology or one profession, it doesn't mean that you have to continue in that. You can choose whatever you want, and hopefully you'll get a job in it. But that depends on you and the opportunities. You're not forced to continue in the route you started.
You said you have some tools to measure the impact of learning. I was wondering, the employment mobility of staff, they do move from one job to another. It's one of the elements that you do.
Yes, it's one of the elements. It's part of the more holistic approach is that people are measuring themselves. They are telling which skills they have, technology skills, not just soft skills. And then when we are looking for a person in a specific position, we can look if in this skill repository who has these relevant skills and pull him from his current position and ask him does he want this position because he has the relevant skill. And then if he wants it and gets interviews and so on, you can move to the desired skills just based on what he said that he knows.
Which program? Which one?
Internally. I'm out of time, so thank you very much.